Hey, what's up, everybody? Hitman BK, and we are going to do something new, something, something cool. Since I don't always have the most time to spend in video games and give everybody like 1,000 builds, I do have like some really cool people that have joined the Discord and the community who love Remnant and a lot of other games, and we're offering to show off what they've been doing in their builds and to kick off this community build video. Because remember, I'm a dad, right? I'm not full of time. So this is how us dads like do stuff. We start a YouTube, get a whole bunch of people to join a Discord, and then steal all of their ideas. So that's also how I'm gonna make cool characters in Remnant. No, I'm just kidding. But for serious, we've got Surfer with me actually right now to kind of go over what he's been using in Remnant. Which, if I'm right, you completed Apocalypse with this before the patch.
Yes, before what you would call the nerf or I would call the nerf, and
Yeah,
I'm
the
working
little
on it now after the nerf as well.
So there you go. So already had completed a pre-patch, which I think, right, Serper, you were telling me when you were looking at DR, you thought you were at 80, but after they actually fixed the visualization, you were sitting somewhere at 40, and now you're sitting at like 70.
Right. So like right now, I think it's in the slides, but I can look at my character real quick. I was actually at 54%.
54%. Yeah, because there was that bug. In case anyone doesn't remember, there was a bug essentially, and what it was doing was giving like the wrong. I'm gonna move my video here so you guys can see like some stuff here. The wrong visualization on what your actual DR was, but that has since been fixed. So, on that note, while I keep goofing off here with my video, there we go. Um, what do we got here? What am I looking at, Surfer? I see you're an alchemist medic, and I think right before I started recording this, I was like, wait, I have an idea. I'm going to talk to you about this because I was curious why you went with the heal instead of the overshield with the medic, since that seems to be the most OP ability.
Right. Yeah, I could see the shield being a good, and I might have to go back and do some testing with it. But the main thing is the build's basically a is a heal per second build, so that just increases my healing when I need it to
You're
keep
like a
my health
regen,
up
right?
top. Yeah, and it also has the added effect of removing status effect decay. So if you haven't actually hit a full status effect, and you know how it like ticks down to
Right.
go back to normal, this actually um, decreases it a lot faster.
And what is that coming from? Is that from running alchemist or ring?
No, that's that wellspring ability, the ability you're asking me why I'm running.
Oh, I didn't know Wellspring did that.
Yeah, it's at the very bottom of the verbiage. It says greatly increases blight decay rate, lasts 15 seconds.
So on your traits, you said fitness can be used instead of untouchable if you're okay with having less iframes but more bay distance, and the 6 points in long shot are adjustable. You have that. That's just from your testing currently.
Yeah, because if you remember also in that patch that we also got 5 more points. So I only
Right.
had 1 point to play around with. I didn't really have an
Oh,
idea where to put. Now I got 6 points. So
that's right. So you went with
yeah,
potency, triage, fortify. This is all fortify is like for defense, regrowth's defense. Untouchable is going to be iframes, right? Vigor's health,
yeah.
bark skin defense. What's siphoner?
Lifesteal.
Oh, lifesteal. So it's you just went right into defense and lifesteal.
Yeah, everything is to try to keep your health up as much as possible.
And then for your third slide, it says consumable plus grenade. What am I looking at here?
Well, because as your alchemist, your prime perk is you can have 3 additional concoctions. So these are the
Oh, okay.
three main extra concoctions I run for a total of 4, which is the increased armor from the bark
Uh,
extract. Dark
Okay.
Cider gives you more stam, movement speed, and
Mudtooth for health and root for
health.
the
Yeah,
regen.
yeah.
So you just have these up the whole time. So this is just like watch these, or I mean, what they're all 60 minutes. So you pop them, and then if you get close to like if you've been playing for over an hour, you just pop it again.
Right, but I think it's another one of the alchemist traits again is that the
Oh, it's like doubled, right? It like increases the time.
Yeah, they're like 120 minutes, really.
That's crazy. Okay, yeah, that's really good. And then what are you rocking this black tar grenade for? Are you actually using this thing?
So the only time I'm really using it is on boss fights. When you look at the gear setup, it might be
Okay.
easier to understand.
I'm on it
But
right now. I'm looking.
okay.
So twist, you're using Merciless, you're using the Krell axe, which I freaking love that axe, and the Nebula.
Hmm.
So you're locked in on your mods because you're using boss weapons.
Yeah.
Okay, and energized neck coil. We all know what that does because that's for status effect damage, which makes sense when you're stacking Merciless with Nebula.
Hmm.
And what's this? I don't know if I know about this crystal. Deal 5% additional. Oh, yes, I do. The 5% additional damage for each status effect. You're running a Cryptid Ring to help the heal over time. The Ring of Grace is giving you what? Oh, more regen. Taking enemy damage causes 10% maximum health regenerate. Okay. Okay. So you've got essentially 2 damage rings and 2 healing rings.
Hmm.
Oh, and then
So
timekeepers increase the duration of
mhm.
status effects. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so it's basically a status effect build. The Merciless with the Twisting Runes wounds mutator, you can put double bleed on. The
Right.
Krellax you put the shock status effect on.
Right.
The Vampire Blade is kind of optional. It gives lifesteal, so I thought it would be good with the build.
Okay.
The Nebula, you put the acid debuff on, and
Yeah, that's the
Time
one that
Weave.
shoots like acid. It almost looks like an acid mist spray.
Yeah, or like an acid flamethrower, some people call it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
acid flamethrower. Yeah.
Um,
Oh.
Time Weave is also another status effect that slows time. The only cliche on that, I guess, is you have to, or the only catch on that is you got to be in close proximity for it to work. But
Right.
the Nebula is kind of a close proximity weapon, anyways. So,
And what's the tranquil heart getting you?
the Tranquil Heart is a regen heart.
Oh, so more health regen. That and then you put
Yeah.
on mythic DR armor
Yep.
effective and health.
Yep. It
Okay.
passively grants 2.3% health regeneration per second. On use, doubles all health regeneration. So with all the health regeneration stuff I already got, I use a heart and I just double it. And then
Gotcha. Okay.
another perk of the alchemist is whenever you use your relic, you get a random buff for 60 seconds, and that also applies to your teammates. And that can be damage, additional healing, damage resist, crit. There's an
So
assortment of them.
is there a loop here? I mean, clearly you've got the armor on because like you look slick. The armor doesn't matter. The Fey Royal set's just beautiful.
So it's all the Fey Royal set except for the Space Worker gloves.
Right.
And if you look at the stats there, you can see on
Oh, you're
the
doing it for the DR.
I'm exactly at 50 weight, right?
Yeah. So
So
you're
if you
getting the
go to
most. Yeah.
51, you're now in a whole new category. So
Right.
that's the most weight you can go in that weight class and get the most amount of armor,
Okay.
which still without the consumables is only 54.3% total damage resistance.
Right. But what's
So, I
so
mean,
is there a loop for the DPS at all, or are you just like get in, make sure you've
so
popped all of your status effects, and then pew pew things with Merciless, and make sure you're just
y-
putting all the effects on them?
yeah, so you basically want to have all the status effects up as much as possible because as you know, you look at the necklace, you're
Right.
getting damage for every time you put a status effect, and that a Hain crystal ring, the more status effects you do, all your damage is multiplied times 5.
Yeah. Okay.
So for
Okay.
each
That's really
status
cool.
effects, so you try to get as many as you can, and the grenade is really only needed for boss fights because everything else is gonna die so quick that
And you're
it's
doing it for the
kind of worth
fire,
it.
right? To put a fire status effect on them.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Because that's gonna multiply all your damage that much more.
So on the net coil though, did you figure out if the applying a damage status effect creates a 5 meter explosion for 20%? Like, is that procking X amount? Because the thing is, we were talking before, we couldn't like tell like when it's gonna proc. Like, have you been able to like
Yeah,
deduce?
I would definitely forward that to like a dev, or if I ever got to ask a question,
Yeah, like how
that
that
would be it,
works.
because the way you read it, it looks like it should happen every time, but it
Right.
really only happens like, I don't know, 25-30% of the time.
Or you should have like 4 explosions in a row when you put like all 4 status effects on. So
Yeah, it should be, but for whatever reason it doesn't work every time.
that's crazy. That's really cool. I like this. And then so you're then really what you're upkeeping is your status effects. So you're just paying attention to really on
Mhm.
boss fights, like when bleed falls off, go to merciless. If the electric falls off, throw your axe again, or poison. Neb them in the face.
Yeah. And the Timekeeper's Jewel is so great because it doubles all the status effects, even the grenade that was shown in the other slide. All that gets
Gotcha.
doubled as well.
Okay. And what's your last slide here? If you want to go, oh, full 80% DR, these are the swaps you can do. You got to wear the Leto. Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, yeah, so you figured it out. You got to wear Leto and you got to rock the bright steel ring and the hardcore metal band.
I mean, the Bright Steel Ring is just so you don't flop. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
don't think anybody wants to play flopping around. So,
Cool. Well, that's a cool build, man. I like it. What did you call it? You called it the Spirited Shaman.
well, that's just what the game calls it when you compare the two
Oh,
together. But yeah.
right. When you put them together, Spirited Shaman. Nice. Well, anything else you want to say about it?
No, I mean, I would just like to see people try it out and get some
Yeah, try it out.
feedback, and
Put it in
maybe
comments
I
what
can
y'all think
even
about it. I can tell you right
mix.
now, I've seen Surfer play with this before he even hit 80. What you said you were at like 55, 60% DR, right? And he was just getting smacked upside the face in Apocalypse and not dying. And this is post patch now. So post patch, like I don't even know that you need to go above like 60, 70% DR anymore.
Yeah, probably not for mobs, but bosses. I think you probably want to try to have as much as you can.
For bosses, yeah. Cool, man. Well, thank you so much for taking some time and showing off this build. I am going to try it out. This looks dope. All right, y'all. Until
All
next
right.
time, if anybody else wants to do something, let me know. Sound off in comments. I'll put you in the Discord and you can show off what it is you've created and I will take it and use it. Because why not? Right? I'm at Maybe K. Make sure you like and subscribe. Thank you so much. Later.